Hello and welcome to This is Nigeria, Unlocking Her Potentials. Now this is the program that showcases Nigeria's investment potentials, especially in the non-oil sectors. And today we're looking at the Nigerian Communications Commission, the umpire of the telecom sector, and it has declared 2017 the year of the consumer. So today's episode, or today's edition rather, is an assessment of how the year 2017 has been declared the year of the consumer, what has been put in place, the awareness that has been created, and what more can be done to raise the level and the consciousness of the consumer on his rights. We also have a panel of discussion. We've had erudite minds in the studio to rub minds on the way forward, plus a lot more that we have in the package. My name is Mayowa Oluwabi. Now don't go, stay there.
In Nigeria and across the world, the consumer has remained at the core of every innovation in human history. Be it a scientific innovation, a mechanical product, farm produce, or even a service, the consumer remains the ultimate target as the end user. Before the Great Depression of the 1930s in Europe and America, producers were more interested in producing and packaging their products as they pleased. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy of the US became the first leader to encapsulate consumer rights in 4 categories in an address to Congress as 1. The right to safety, 2. The right to be informed, 3. The right to choose, and 4. The right to be heard. Since then, consumerism, as the fight for consumer rights is popularly called, has gained momentum, leading the United Nations in 1983 to declare the World Consumer Rights Day on March 15th. Making it an annual event and a global rallying point for highlighting consumer rights across the world. At home here in Nigeria, consumer rights is neither here nor there. This has led observers to posit that the world has left the country behind in the area of addressing consumer concerns. Some observers point to the obsolete existence of monopolies, large government corporations, and low-level industrialization as contributing factors to this sad trend. It therefore came as refreshing news when on March 15, 2017, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) announced that 2017 has been declared as the year of the consumer by the Commission. This announcement was made by no less a person than the Honorable Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, on the occasion of the World Consumer Rights Day. According to the Minister, the NCC has not only declared 2017 the year of the consumer, but has also selected a theme for the year-long activity as building a digital world consumers can trust in order to maintain a specific focus. The minister maintained that at the policy level, government was not insensitive to consumer complaints at different levels of the communication industry and was working towards policies and effective strategies aimed at bringing solutions to the myriad of challenges encountered by consumers of communication products. In conclusion, the minister stressed the importance of communications, especially ICT, in modern-day governance, especially in the area of security. He, however, noted that government will ultimately find a balance between consumer right to privacy and national security.
It is therefore very apt for the NCC to flag off and declare 2017 the year of the Nigerian telecom consumer, since the theme of the 2017 World Consumer Rights Day celebration falls within the purview of the NCC regulatory activities and oversight functions on the telecom industry. It is therefore a basis for a compelling need to build a better digital world where there will be transparency and where there will be satisfaction on the part of consumers. Finally, government is actively engaged in the key forums working to answer questions on quality of service and consumer rights across the board. Our goal, ultimately, is to find a balance between consumer rights and the right to privacy.
The Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, at the occasion disclosed that the Nigerian telecommunication industry has remained on the upward rise since inception. According to him, the Nigerian telecoms consumer spent about $5.6 billion in 2015, which rose to $6.6 billion in 2016. He agreed, therefore, that the average consumer who makes any kind of investment or patronizes any telecoms network expects to get good service. He enumerated the 8-point agenda that will help the NCC achieve the Year of the Consumer, as declared by the Commission, to include 1. Facilitate broadband penetration. 2. Improve the quality of service. 3. Optimize usage and benefits of spectrum. 4. Promote ICT innovation and investment opportunities. 5. Facilitate strategic collaborations and partnerships. 6. Protect and empower consumers. 7. Promote fair competition and inclusive growth. And 8. Ensure regulatory excellence and operational efficiency. The NCC Chief Executive maintained that item 6 above, to protect and empower consumers, will be vigorously pursued as the Consumer Affairs Bureau of the Commission has been given fresh impetus to tackle consumer rights issues. This is with a view to reducing the incidence of dropped calls to the industrial benchmark rate of less than 1%. Professor Dambata enjoined consumers to take advantage of the Do Not Disturb facility introduced by the Commission to prevent unsolicited calls and text messages by network providers by dialing 2442 and 622, the NCC customer complaint line.
You send stop in capital letters, all of them capital, to 2442, and the operator sending you those unsolicited text messages, should really stop sending them. And if you continue to receive those unsolicited text messages, then you can escalate, the matter to the NCC, and therefore the use of the toll-free number comes readily into our minds, the 622. Okay, you send that complaint that despite several attempts, to stop a particular operator from sending you unsolicited text messages, you are still receiving them. And then we'll follow it up for you. If the 622 is not working, if you have sent today, many people attested to the fact that it is a toll-free number that is very active. Okay, you can try it yourselves when you go home. You can send a text message to either the Director, Consumer Affairs, to the NCC. You can even text a message to me. I've been receiving text messages related to complaints, by consumers. And we have resolved many of these issues, by, directing appropriate departments, to look at the complaints and resolve them. So no staff of the NCC will turn their backs on any consumer that is being shortchanged through a service that they did not solicit.
This is Nigeria caught up with the Executive Commissioner of the NCC, Mr. Sunday Dari, and took him up on the reasons behind the NCC declaring 2017 the Year of the Consumer.
The NCC, as the regulator of the telecom industry, has a matrix of stakeholders, from the operators to the consumers to MDAs, government, the National Assembly, quite a sizable number of stakeholders. And all of them are important, but critically the consumer is at the top of that ladder. We have 154 million consumers from a paltry number of 400,000 over a decade ago. We have 154 million, which is about the highest in Africa and the Middle East. And telecom service, of course, the last mile is important in terms of the quality of service, the experience of the consumer, the satisfaction of the consumer. So apart from regulation that we are charged with, regulating the industry, part of that is also making sure that all the stakeholders are taken care of. The interest of the operators, the consumers, and other stakeholders are balanced. So the consumer had always occupied an important position. In fact, in 2001, the Consumer Affairs Bureau, CAB, was established, which shows clearly the priority given to that group of stakeholders. And this year, the decision to pick the consumer, this year's Year of the Consumer, is predicated on the diligence of NCC to continue to ensure that as the subscriber base grows, we also make sure that we're very alert to the experience and the satisfaction of the consumer. And that boils down to the quality of service that the consumer enjoys. Perhaps one of the major triggers for the decision to have 2017 as Year of the Consumer is the DND, that is the Do Not Disturb initiative by NCC, which the sole goal is to make sure that unsolicited text messages are stopped completely. That's the first option. The second option is, if you think you want some of these messages, you have a drawdown option that you can check and get limited text messages. So we have the DND. All you have to do is 2442, and then it is stopped completely.
The Director, Consumer Affairs, Abdullahi Meikano, also spoke with This Is Nigeria on the NCC's declaration of 2017, the Year of the Consumer, and what consumers need to do when they have challenges with their network providers.
The 622 platform has been remodernized to the effect that we now operate Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. And we've also introduced, we have also made it multilingual. Now, apart from calling and talking to our agents in English, you can actually talk to them in your language. You can talk to them in Igbo, in Yoruba, in Hausa, and in Pidgin. So that now is making it possible for the larger population to get to complain to the NCC in the event that they have issues and their service provider is not providing solution. In addition to that, we've also produced more flyers, more handbills. We redesigned them and made them a bit more simple so that consumers can now be able to also know more about what is happening, know about their own rights and obligations. Again, those flyers have also been produced in various languages, again in the 3 major languages and also Pidgin. And in order to make sure that these flyers particularly get to the rural areas, we came up with, we have a cooperation with the National Orientation Agency, which is a government agency. They have footprint across the entire 774 local governments. So we are working with them to distribute those materials. They are using their outdoor broadcast vans to talk to the local folks in marketplaces, sensitizing them about the 622.
In line with the vision to reposition the consumer in 2017, the NCC also unveiled 2 brand ambassadors for the Telecoms Year of the Consumer. The brand ambassadors, Helen Paul and Ali Nuhu, spoke on the Year of the Telecoms Consumer.
Expect to hear the best, to see the best, and we deliver the message of the 2442 and 622, the codes to be given out to the public, to our consumers. And of course, once you have any complaints, things will get better. We're all working together to make our country, Nigeria, a better and a greater place, whereby both the suppliers and the receivers also have a good ground to land on.
We're going to step down to our local languages so we can communicate with the average Nigerian anywhere, any day, anytime. So we're representing the brand in this way, and we are voices for the consumer, and we're certainly going to deliver.
I appreciate the Nigerian Communications Commission. This event that marks that's meant for consumers. Interest is something that they should keep up, and I encourage Nigerians to actually take advantage of programs like this to know their rights as consumers, so that we can engage service providers in more, mutually benefiting ways.
It's creating awareness, and I believe it's very good for everybody. Coming here was just an opportunity for me to know what is happening. Thank you.
And with me on the program, coming from the NCC, is the Head of Public Relations, Mr. Ruben Moka. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And seated to my right, or to my left rather, is Josie Itoya Splendor, a public affairs analyst and a media consultant. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much,
Okay, let me take off from you. Can you give us a status report of how Nigeria, the consumer in Nigeria, has fared in telecoms?
Well, I really must say that the telecommunication industry has revolutionized Nigeria. I mean, as I speak with you, the phone and communication business is something that even the woman in the market or the one on the farm knows about. And not just voice call no more. People talk, a lot of people now, the traffic of people into data has been amazing. I mean, you see people communicating all kinds of language, trying to write Hausa, some very terrible English. But the deal is, like I said to somebody way back while they were preparing for the 2011 campaign, that you see, this communication technology is the way forward. You know, they tried dissuading us then from, doing campaigns through the social media. I said, look, guy, there's no way life will go behind. We're going to move forward. Now, this is 2017, and I tell you, every person I know, literate or illiterate, are actually on the phone, using data and using voice. So, on a positive note, the telecommunication industry has done a lot. But on the negative side, I know NCC has been doing a lot of things to curb the excesses of these people. Now, apart from the fact that you have drop calls and nobody's asking questions, apart from the fact that you have bad network services sometimes, this new level of, sending unsolicited texts and deducting your money, and the next thing they tell you is, you subscribe to this, we have collected 50 naira, if you don't want it, delete. Now, with the mass number of Nigerians, we know the literacy level of Nigerians. You begin to wonder how many Nigerians even understand what it is to say delete or stop. So you just keep, extorting from the poor masses. I mean, imagine me buying 200 naira credit and then you're taking 50 naira for something I don't even understand and I've not subscribed to. So if at all there is a platform to stop this, I think it has to be heralded loudly. It should be so simplified and available that, it should be as easy to reach like you get credit. That's what I'm trying to say. So by the time maybe NCC does that, then bulk of Nigerians will know that, okay, you know what, we're actually protected by these people. But overall, we've made massive impact telecommunication-wise.
Okay. So Mr. Ruben, the ball is in your court.
That's right.
Why is 2017? What is so spectacular about 2017 that you have declared it the year of the consumer? And I want you to also take up some of the issues Josie has raised.
Thank you very much. NCC actually have been taking the issue of consumer seriously, and we have a department, Consumer Affairs Bureau, which is responsible for attending to the issues concerning the consumer. And for a time, we have had outreaches, different types of outreaches, consumer town hall meetings, consumer outreach programs, consumer parliament, and we take this around the country. The aim was to ensure that consumers get information that they need at all times. Okay. But in 2017, we wanted to take it to another higher level. Okay. Essentially, the executive vice chairman of this commission, Professor Omaga Badambata, had an 8-point agenda. In that 8-point agenda, there are many things: efficiency of the networks, quality of service, broadband expansion, but empowerment and protection of the consumer is one of those items. Okay. And this year, he decided that we will give a push to empowerment and the education of the consumer. And that brought about the launching of the 2017 Year of the Consumer. It was actually launched on 15th of March, which coincided on the Consumer Rights Day, which is celebrated internationally. But even within the context of the 2017 Year of the Consumer, we have identified some of the consumer-focused
areas that need to be addressed. Okay. And some of the key ones are, in fact, before we came into that, the issue of unsolicited text messages was one of the alarming. Okay. Wherever we go for consumer outreaches, wherever we go for any event, people's first line of complaint is unsolicited text messages.
So what is NCC doing?
What the NCC did was now to develop a regulation. Okay. A regulation that brought about a particular code that is uniform to all the service providers. That code is 2442. If you do not want to be receiving unsolicited text messages, you dial stop, S-T-O-P, and text it to 2442. Then that means all the unsolicited text messages will stop coming. On the other hand, if you have a particular type of message, maybe you are interested in sports, you want to be receiving only sports messages, or maybe you are interested in banking, you want to be receiving text messages on banking, or maybe you're on property, what you type is help and send it to 2442. Okay. When you type help to 2442, it now brings all the codes. If banking is 3, you text 3 to 2442. So it now be bringing you everything about banking. All the other messages will no longer be there. So we, not only that we did want to stop all the text messages if you don't want them, but we also said even if there's a particular type you want to be coming, let it be coming. And it's mandatory that all the service providers, that uniform code 2442 is what you use. And we're also emphasizing the fact that we have another toll-free number, okay, which is NCC's toll-free number, where we use to resolve consumer complaints. Like this 2442. If you have sent it and it does not work, you call 2442, you call 622. That is a toll-free line. Okay. We have always encouraged people that before you call us, ensure that you have contacted your service provider. Okay. It is wherever the service provider does not do the right thing or unable to resolve your complaint that you call 622. And I think a lot of people are getting issues resolved. In fact, by the time we launched 2442, by the early months of this year, we were having like 1 million subscribers that are accessing the 2442. But before June, up to 5 million Nigerians are getting through to it. And another item we wanted to emphasize in the year of the consumer is the idea of quality of service. That has been one of the key things that are very worrisome to the consumers, and the Commission decided to invite the service providers to say, look, we are launching a year dedicated to the consumer. You must improve whatever you are doing. So right now we are on them trying to monitor what they are doing, trying to measure not just how their switches are doing, but the quality of experience of subscribers across the country.
As a parting shot, the best way to reach the consumer is through his own personal phone. So even if this message can be a via caller tune, because there's this caller, when you're expecting a call, you can actually put that message. This is NCC telling you that we care about you. So if you feel your providers are not working, we are here for you, call us. By the time I hear that directly, yeah, so I mean, even with what I earlier said about, fixing these places, look for a way around it. I know that we are going through economic crunch and stuff, but I know it's doable. Because all I really want is for NCC to tell Nigerians that the government care about you. Because right now, everybody spends money on recharge card or something. Yes. So please, and they want to also believe that the government care about what happens to them. So that's just, as part of it.
Thank you very much for coming on to the program. This is Nigeria. We'll continue. 2017, the year of the consumer. That's what NCC has declared. We'll be back. Every good road must have an end. And I believe you have been enlightened, you have been informed. Now you know that the NCC has your back and your cover, that you can make complaints directly to the NCC through the toll numbers that we're going to toll-free numbers that we're displaying on the screen. 5 million subscribers have made use of that, and they've been given their testimony. So don't wait one moment. Any complaints that you have about the telecom services you're being provided, please let the NCC know, and so you can get redress. My name is Mayowa Oluwabi. Thank you for watching. God bless Nigeria.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, all our daddies and mommies in the house. From all the commissioners to the EC to all the titles. Good afternoon. I just want to use this opportunity to say that NCC have not only endorsed Elimpo, they have also endorsed Tatafo. And Tatafo will make sure that the voice of the common man will be heard through 2442. We shall tell you if any complaint is about to happen, if anything you don't like, you see it on your phone. If any telecommunication send you letter that you don't like, just send HELP, HELP, to 2442, and I will be there to help you. Thank you.